Alyssa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, joining us here. Also, got to first give you the congratulations on the Dodgers World Championship. Alyssa, have you even been able to go to sleep after that?
Ooh, it was hard to go to sleep on Saturday night, that's for sure. And I was exhausted because I was in Hot Springs and been on the broadcast for the state volleyball games all day. And so you get it, Phil. You're exhausted from talking and calling games all day. And then you get to your hotel, and I just felt the entire time how stressed I was because I didn't feel like they were going to win until they won. And then it's like, well, now how do I come down from this really big emotional high that I'm on because it's almost midnight and I need to go to bed.
Well, you ended up making it to bed, I'm sure. How'd the volleyball finals go? What happened there?
Sure. It was a lot of fun. I mean, when you start off the day with both of the first two matches in 4A and 5A going all 5 sets, you know it was going to be an exciting day of volleyball, and it was. Pulaski Academy starting off the day with winning their very first title. And that was exciting for them in the 4A. And then in the 5A, Farmington, who had been there for the very first time, falling just short to a Marion team. And then Conway defeating Fayetteville. They won back-to-back state titles. And then Hackett and Mansfield rounding out the night with wins. So it was an exciting day. I had never been down there to Banco ZK Arena, my first time down there, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's a great place. They've had the basketball state championships there for a long time, and it's a fantastic atmosphere. Volleyball's really, taken off, and for a while now, collegiate sports. What's it like high school sports-wise in Arkansas for volleyball?
I think it's growing. And, I was joking on the phone with the head coach of Marion who started that program 30-some years ago. And she was like, when I was starting the program and getting volleyball going, they gave me soccer balls. And it was like, no, this is not the same thing. I need volleyballs. And to see where the sport has taken off and grown. And I think it has a lot to do with the popularity of the college game and how competitive club has gotten. And it's trickling into the high school level as well. A lot of good, talented teams in the Northwest Arkansas corner and in the Northeast corner. Central Arkansas is starting to kind of play catch up a little bit. But again, it's a fun sport. I think girls are realizing, hey, I can play this. I can get behind this sport, and it's fun and it's fast paced. And the student sections at the arena were awesome. So they're bringing in crowds, not just parent crowds, but fans.
Let's get into some high school football here. Last week of the regular season, right? What's up for grabs that you're paying attention to?
Oh, man, I was reading through the scenarios, and it's wild. First and foremost, though, in Central Arkansas, you've got an undefeated Bryant team and an undefeated in conference play Conway team, and they match up on Friday night, and that is going to be a thriller. I believe that game is at Conway, and that is going to be a thriller down there in Central Arkansas. You look up here, and there are so many scenarios. Bentonville West playing. Rogers is playing Heritage this week, and there's a whole thing and scenario where if Bentonville wins, they're outright champions of the 7A West. If West wins, but they have to win by 2, and Rogers lose, then they're the 1 seed. But if Rogers and West win, then there's a 3-way tie to Bentonville and West. So West is looking at, you could be a 1 seed if you play your cards and play well, or you could be a 3 seed. And so there's so many scenarios happening with the teams up here in Northwest Arkansas. Same with Fayetteville. Fayetteville beats Harbor. They can be a 4 seed. If not, they're a lower seed. Harbor's the 4 seed. It's a lot. So it's an exciting Friday night up here.
In terms of 6A, Greenwood and Mountain Home would look to be a really big one as well. Nobody's been able to keep up with Greenwood, though. Mountain Home's had a great season, though.
They have, and I think Mountain Home might be, again, one of the better chances. If anyone at all is going to knock out Greenwood, it would maybe be Mountain Home during the regular season. They've got a really talented running back named Barrett Miller. Also plays defense, has kind of been their workhorse this season. But they really take over the identity of their head coach, Steve Airy, and he is just a no-nonsense, old-school, love ball, grind it out, hard-nosed kind of coach. and they play with a little bit of a chip and a lot of grit. And they're a really fun team to watch. And so I'm curious to see when they go to Greenwood how that's going to look, because we just know that offense right now for Greenwood is just really hard to slow down and stop. And their defense has come a long way since the beginning of the season, and they're playing really good as well, too. So it'll be a big challenge for Mountain Home, but it's another one we're keeping an eye on.
No, you had a chance to talk with Rogers linebacker Braxton Lindsey, who's committed to BYU.
Yeah.
What did he talk at all about his decision for BYU? Because I know that Arkansas went after him, and there were some SEC schools that were interested in him, but BYU is a pretty interesting place.
Yeah, and, for him, when I talked to him at the beginning of the season, I talked to him about committing to BYU, and his big thing was he just felt like it was that family atmosphere that he wanted. And I might have mentioned this before, and we've talked about in the world of NIL and the transfer portal. I mean, he made it very clear he wanted to look and see somewhere that he could spend the next 4 years. And I'm not saying that guys just go in knowing that they might transfer, but he wanted to look at a place and say, can I spend 4 years here? Can I be a part of this program? And that was really important to him. And I think that, what their head coach, Kalani Sitake, is building right now, this is one of the best recruiting classes that BYU has ever had. And Braxton Lindsey's a part of it. He's also a two-way guy, which I talked to him about that too. And BYU could give him an opportunity to play both sides of the field. After he said maybe freshman year, just work on being a linebacker. But he's got such good hands that he could be a weapon offensively. So he might be able to play both ways for BYU too, which could be interesting.
Did a recruit telling you that he's looking for a place to spend the next 4 years feel like an outlier?
A little bit. I haven't had anyone else say that to me necessarily when I've asked and had conversations about, I really like the coaching staff. I like this. But for him, he's like, I could see myself here for 4 years. This is what I wanted. I don't plan on leaving. I just don't know how much you really, truly, I'm not saying that other guys don't think that, and maybe they're just not saying it out loud, but it really has opened the door, college athletics and football has, to being able to, hey, if you don't feel comfortable, you can go somewhere else pretty easily at the snap of a finger. And so that might not necessarily be a priority for guys because they know they have that as an option if things don't work out. And so, yeah, I thought that was very telling of him to say it out loud.
Alyssa Orange is with us. She is the host of the Varsity Vibe podcast. Alyssa, both Matt and I got involved at least a little bit with trying to promote Dirks High School to win the T-Mobile Friday Night 5G Lights contest. They did win it. We knew about it last week. $1 million for Dirks High School to redo their football stadium. It's one of the coolest stories I've heard for a while here.
Yeah, it really is really cool. And how about that? I mean, a national contest put on by T-Mobile and a school like Dirks being able to win it. And it brought them some spotlight, that obviously as a small school, you don't necessarily get, and to have those resources and that money to be able to pour into the program is really, really cool. You don't hear much about that kind of stuff like that. But that's such a cool story.
Well, we really appreciated them just asking us to get involved in it, and then hopefully it helped a little bit. We got basketball season has started college-wise. I got a chance to watch the men yesterday. I'm on my way up to Fayetteville after today's halftime for Coach Music's debut, regular season, and really interested to see how they look. They got a tough game today too. This Louisiana Tech team is picked to win Conference USA, so it's not like they did not get a doormat to begin the season. That's for sure.
No, they did not. And I'm excited to see too what this Kelsey Music team looks like just in this first game. And we know this. Teams are going to get the kinks out. Teams are going to evolve as the season continues. And game one is not indicative of a team and what they're going to look like in March. But they've been working really hard, and we have heard so much from her, from the players. When you read interviews that have been done, the fast pace and the movement and how quick she wants to play and how her practices are tough and they're constantly moving. And are we going to see that tonight on the floor? What does the chemistry look like with all of these brand new pieces that she's brought in and the pieces that are still here? I just want to see exactly what maybe all this stuff that we heard in the off season about the style that she likes to play with, how it looks the very first time it's put on a court, and so I'll be watching for sure tonight.
I'm excited. I mean, there's all these other players to watch too, but Mike last year would tell me a little bit about Bonnie Days, who's from Australia, freshman guard, who's really, really exciting. She made the decision to stick to her commitment to Arkansas. And I've heard a lot about her. I've been to a couple practices, and she just looks really quick, which you're going to have to be in order to play in this kind of an offense. So I'm excited to see her.
Yeah, I want to see it in action. I want to see the pace and play, and I want to be able to see the speed and the endurance that comes with playing in the style that she wants to play in. And what it looks like against, like you mentioned, a really good opponent in Louisiana Tech.
So you got to look last night at Cal's version, and when I'm watching the highlights and listening to the broadcast, and just the excitement about what's coming up on Saturday and everything. I mean, you could not have basketball for men's and women's being two totally different places right now. Truthfully,
yeah, truly. I mean, I got to see some glimpses of the game here and there yesterday. So. Fun fact, I am coaching Finn's basketball team this year, so we had practice yesterday. So we were running through drills with a bunch of 8-year-olds at practice, and so we caught a little bit of the game when we came back, and I was cooking dinner.
You cracked the whip?
Here and there.
You send them on suicides and everything?
Man, I try to be nice, but I'm the toughest on my own son, because I look at him and I'm like, if you don't listen to me, how do you expect these other 5 to listen to me? They're focused. It's like herding cats. They're so aggressive and they want to do all these things and they can't focus, but they're fun. And I'm excited for the season to get started on Saturday. But yeah, I got to catch some glimpses of what we saw, and just so much talent. I think that just where they're starting this season with who they are as a team is so much more defined than it was year one under Cal.
All right, but tell me, what would be the defining characteristic of an Alyssa Orange coached basketball team?
I just want them to be able to dribble when they get the ball.
So
we're still in the whole stages of fundamentals. Got to work on the little things, guys. Got to be able to dribble. We do these dribbling drills, and then we do a little bit of a scrimmage, and the minute one gets the ball, then they start running. And I'm like, no, we got to dribble. Guys, we got to dribble. We got to be able to pass. You don't have to make rules. Pass twice before you shoot. Otherwise, it would just be a shooting fest. So we'll see how it goes.
Alyssa,
we'll keep track throughout the season. The
philosophy of a Phil Elson coached youth basketball team would be Uncrustables for everybody. We leave it at that.
Right, yeah. Promise them candy if they just focus at the end.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.